Okay, so you know how much we love to dig into the details of these real estate listings you send our way, and this one is really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one is for family villas for sale in Chalong, Phuket.
Yeah.
And this is from By Phuket, and I think it has so much to offer. Whether you are looking to relocate your family to a gorgeous home in Thailand, or maybe just thinking about investment opportunities in the Phuket property market.
Right. And I think this listing really does give a good um, overview of what's out there, and sort of the high quality that's available in Shillong these days.
Yeah, so let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
So first off, just the basics. These villas are located in Chalong, Phuket in an exclusive gated community.
Hmm.
And that kind of right away signals to me a focus on security.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe some nice shared amenities that are, kind of a step above just the individual villa itself.
Right. And I mean, gated communities, are always attractive to families.
Hmm.
Just that peace of mind. And it can be a real attraction for tenants as well if you're thinking of renting it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And they specify these are family villas.
Yeah.
And the size, there's a real range here.
Yeah.
2 bedrooms upwards.
Hmm.
Some going even beyond 4 bedrooms. So catering to different family sizes
Yeah.
and potential rental needs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then even looking at the bathrooms too, they range from 3 to 4 or more. So
Right.
even if you're looking at like the smaller villa options,
Mhm.
still ample bathroom space,
Yeah,
which, if you've got a family is really a big thing.
absolutely.
And then the plots themselves vary, considerably,
Hmm.
from 202 square meters up to 580 square meters.
Yeah.
And then the built-up area is also, significant, 289 to 750 square meters. So
Wow, that's a big.
a big range. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really does make you think about how does that impact the price?
Hmm.
How does that impact, what you would use the property for? Right.
If it's got a larger plot, maybe more garden space.
Hmm.
Obviously, if it's got more built-up area, you've got more interior living space.
Right.
And they also mentioned, 4 unique villa styles. So it sounds like there
Mm.
is some architectural diversity.
Yeah, which is nice because, sometimes these developments can be a little cookie cutter.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's nice that they've got a little bit of some variety in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of variety, I mean, the price range is pretty wide.
Yeah, it is.
From 12,980,000 Thai baht all the way up to 44,550,000 THB.
Yeah. So you've got quite a spectrum there. And that
Yeah.
must reflect those, differences in size and plot and maybe even specific features or,
Right.
location within the community.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, they're talking about elegance and space and functionality.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're really going for, a certain buyer
Mm-hmm.
or investor.
So let's talk about some of the features, that are kind of highlighted, what jumped out at you.
Well, I mean, the private pool with jacuzzi
Yes.
as a standard feature.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really big one.
Huge. Yeah.
In Phuket, having your own pool,
Especially.
it's such a lifestyle enhancement,
Yeah.
especially for families, and also if you're thinking about renting the place out. I mean, that is a huge draw for holiday making.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it is, a tropical climate.
Right.
It gets hot.
Yeah.
So yeah, having your own private pool is a
Particularly.
real plus. And the jacuzzi, just adds that little extra touch of,
Luxury. Yeah.
luxury and relaxation.
Yeah, and that, I feel like a pool is not just a nice to have.
No.
Like it really is a feature that can, boost your rental appeal.
It's a key differentiator, I think,
Yeah.
in the Phuket market. Yeah, for sure. And then obviously that the other core feature is, being part of this exclusive gated community, which we've already touched on, in terms of security
Yeah.
and potential shared amenities. We don't know exactly what they are, but, certainly worth inquiring about.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's on offer there.
So then moving on to just the location itself.
Yeah.
Chalong is obviously a very well-established area
Mm-hmm.
in Phuket, and they give us some really specific travel times to nearby places.
Right.
So Robinson Lifestyle Chalong and Villa Market are both about 13 minutes away.
Okay.
And, for your day-to-day needs, shopping, groceries, dining,
Right.
having those kind of really well-established retail hubs so close is a big advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Robinsons and Villa Market are both, very popular with a wide array of goods and services. So
Yeah.
that's a real practical element, to the lifestyle these villas offer.
Right. And then for anyone who is into exploring the islands or, marine activities, Chalong Pier is just 14 minutes away.
Oh, wow.
So super convenient for boat
Yeah.
trips and accessing, the beautiful Andaman Sea.
Yeah, adds that kind of, leisure and recreation dimension
For sure.
to location's appeal.
Absolutely.
But, maybe even more important for some people, especially if you've got a family
Yes.
or are thinking about renting to families long term, is the international schools.
Yes.
BCIS, British Curriculum International School, is 9 minutes away,
Mm-hmm.
and Head Start International School about 15 minutes away.
And that is, such a big draw
Huge, yeah.
for families who are prioritizing, international education for their kids.
Absolutely, and not just the quality of life for people living there, but also makes these properties very attractive
Sure.
to the expat rental market.
Oh,
So,
totally.
when you combine all of that, the shopping, the leisure,
Yeah.
the education, it really does make Chalong, a very
Family friendly.
family friendly.
Desirable location.
Yeah. And properties close to good schools and amenities.
Yeah.
They often see strong rental demand and, potential for capital appreciation as well.
For sure, for sure. And that leads us perfectly into the investment potential.
Right.
And they say it very explicitly in the listing that, these villas offer a unique blend of luxury and comfort, making them an ideal family home or a high return investment opportunity.
Right.
And the fact that they are move-in ready, I
Yeah.
think, is also a really big selling point for both people who are looking to, occupy the villa themselves, just seamless transition.
Yeah.
But also if you're an investor and you want to start, generating rental income right away.
Absolutely. Yeah. No delays.
Yeah, no delays.
The people in there.
Yeah, and, I think the combination of a desirable location, these features, private pools, all of that, I think really does lend itself to the investment angle.
Yeah. Phuket is still a very popular destination
Yeah.
for tourists and long-term residents alike.
Yeah.
So these kinds of, well-located, well-appointed villas
Yeah.
really hold their appeal, I think, in the rental market.
Mm-hmm.
I think to really understand that high return potential, what I would encourage you to do is look into typical rental yields
Yeah.
for comparable properties in the area.
Right.
You can get some real data on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on to, who's behind this?
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Who are these people? So they give information about the real estate agency, Ocean Worldwide Company Limited.
Okay.
And they've been operating in Phuket since 2004. So,
That's a good track record.
yeah, that's a long time
Yeah.
to be, working in this market.
Yeah, you would imagine they have a deep understanding
Right.
of the local market.
Yeah, and they do say that they focus on luxury properties,
Mhm.
and that they have a global network. So again, signaling that,
Reaching a wide audience.
yeah, they know this, they know the sector.
Yeah, an agency with that kind of experience in the Phuket luxury market.
Yeah.
They're going to have
Yeah.
valuable insights into pricing trends,
Right.
local regulations,
Yeah,
what attracts those high-end buyers and renters.
for sure.
And they talk about, using technology, but also a human-centric approach.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they're trying to, have that blend of efficiency,
Right.
but also personalized service.
Yeah, which is key when you're dealing with, such a
Yeah. High-value transaction.
expertise. Yeah.
You don't want to feel like just a number.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
want to feel like,
they're there with you.
yeah, like someone's holding your hand through the process.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then in terms of getting in touch with them, they make it very easy.
Yeah.
They give you a WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
A direct phone number, email address, and even their physical office address in Chern Chern Talai, Phuket.
Perfect. So many ways to connect.
So many ways. Yeah.
That's great.
So really convenient whether you prefer a quick message or, a detailed email inquiry.
Yeah, and they even mentioned virtual tour options
Oh, yeah.
via video chat.
Yeah, that's great.
So you can, get an initial viewing even if you're not currently in Phuket.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
Yeah, that's really great.
Huh.
And then finally, just to give you a sense of, the broader picture
Yeah.
of what's available in Phuket, they have a little section on similar listings.
Okay.
And they mention specifically brand new beachfront residences,
Okay.
starting from 13,920,000 THB.
Okay. Beachfront.
Beachfront.
Oh,
Yeah. So
oh.
it gives you a sense that, there are these other types of investment opportunities
Right.
available, but these beachfront residences are condos, not villas.
Okay.
So it's a slightly different
Different vibes, yeah.
Yeah, vibe, yeah.
So yeah, it's good that they're kind of giving you a taste of that as well.
Right, just to know what else is out there.
Yeah, big guy.
So I think, to kind of summarize what we've looked at.
Yeah. These are family villas in an exclusive gated community in Chalong, Phuket.
Hmm.
They come in a range of sizes and styles, all featuring private pools with jacuzzis.
Yep.
The location has excellent proximity to, essential amenities like shopping, international schools,
Hmm.
leisure options like Chalong Pier.
We're great for families.
Yeah, really good for families and also, potentially high return
Yeah.
investments.
Yeah, I mean, it really does tick a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Um,
And Ocean Worldwide Company Limited, which is
yeah.
a well-established agency with a focus on luxury properties.
Hmm.
They're the ones managing the sales, so.
Yeah, I think the combination of, quality villas
Mhm.
in a desirable location
Yeah.
with, strong amenities, it really
Mhm.
does make these listings stand out. So I think, for you, the listener,
Yeah.
the next step is to think about what you know.
Yeah.
What aspects align most closely with your needs?
Right.
Whether those are personal needs or your investment goals. Yeah, and so as you're listening, think about, what really stood out to you about these villas.
Mm-hmm.
Was it, picturing your family enjoying that private pool?
Right.
Was it the convenience of having those schools so close?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the potential, for a really strong return on investment?
Yeah. Or all of the above,
Yeah,
maybe.
or all of the above.
But yeah, I think, this deep dive has given you a really good overview
Yeah,
based on the listing.
for sure.
So now to take that next step,
Mm-hmm.
think about reaching out,
Yeah.
using that contact information that we talked about.
Yeah.
Send a quick WhatsApp message, schedule a virtual tour,
Yeah.
drop them an email, whatever you prefer.
Mm.
But, this is your chance to really delve deeper
Yeah.
and maybe even start to, picture yourself living in or,
Right.
having an investment in one of these
One of these Chalong villas. Yeah.
Chalong villas. Exactly.
Fantastic stuff, as always. Really
Yes.
appreciate you walking us through it.
My pleasure.
And to all of you listening out there, thanks for joining us for the deep dive.
See you next time.
See you next time.